Instagram, for the love of it all, will you please just make up your mind what you want to do? Yes, okay, you want to copy everyone and make you the most popular kid in the playground, but just let it settle. One week you want us to do something, then the next week you want us to do something else, and none of us can keep up. And especially me, I'm getting frustrated with all of this, and I'm just, you know what, you can't beat them. You can't beat this game. This game has been playing against us for years. It's the one thing I have given out about Instagram continuously, even as I was growing pretty quickly on the platform, was that the game plays against you, and it's ridiculous now at the minute. Photos have taken an all-time huge hit. I have loads of photographers have contacted me over the last while, whether they're new into it or they've actually even more following than me, and they're asking like, oh, what's the performance rate of your photographs? And I always judge it on my landscape photos. That's primarily what people follow me for. My commercial work is just, that's part of my portfolio, and I'm not willing to open up a new page on Instagram, so I just force feed it into everyone's face. But I get booked from it, so it's working in that sense. Even though those photos may not get the engagement that I would like them to get, it's not about that. It's about showcasing that I don't just do this, I do this, that and the other. The biggest problem with Instagram is they've been so secretively open about how bad they treat their users. And what I mean about that is they deny it to the hilt, yet they do it completely open. We all know they do it. They just are the only ones. They're the last ones to admit it. And what I mean about that is it knows that your goal is to get as many likes and engagement as possible. That is what we're addicted to. High scores. The social media game is the video game of all. One comparison I always make with Instagram is that if it was like Call of Duty, and it only counted for 1 every 5 kill streaks that you get, you'd no longer play the game. But because social media is a social video game, as I would see it, it's a social game that everyone plays wants to get the high scores. We all just put up with this to get further on it. So that brings me to the main point of this video is, as a photographer, I am now being forced, even though I do videos on YouTube and I do quite enjoy them. I've been enjoying them a lot more since I started doing vlogs, but now I'm being forced into doing videos on Instagram. And you can see from the setup here, I'm taking the bull by the horns. So what I'm doing now is I'm batch recording a whole load of tips and tricks. I've already done a few recordings, so I'll do a few recordings in this t-shirt here, with a few other ones, because I have a lot of photography design t-shirts I've done myself. This exposure one, I have an ISO 100, I have my own logo, I think I have another one that has like a raw file on it as well. So all photography related, all kind of quirky stuff. And now when I design these t-shirts, I design them for me for when I'm actually on photography shoots, so I can just wear casual stuff and just, relatable. And you get the wee laugh from the photographer across the room and goes like, oh, I know what that is. If you're interested in the t-shirts, the links are in the descriptions below. But yeah, so what I'm doing right here is I'm going to be doing a batch recording. I'm going to be recording in multiple t-shirt setups. So it means when I'm posting at a later stage, it doesn't all look like it was recorded in the one night. So even though they are, I have 10 recorded already, and I'm going to work on a few more right now. And it's just going to be teaching photography tips. And that's one of the ways I'm going to just maintain my page. I'm not really too concerned about growing as much on the page, just kind of maintaining it. And I've always wanted to help people out. And I think that because Reels have such a great reach, this could help a lot more people. So yeah, it could turn out that I could get it more of a following, but if people can transfer then onto YouTube and they can see the full tutorials, I'd much prefer that, because 15 seconds, 30 seconds doesn't explain an awful lot. But if you go, this guy is saying something right, let's go and see the full story, boom, that's going to work really great. So that's the idea I'm having right now. Whether it works or not, I'm willing to take the risk, because I've got nothing to lose. I've got one evening, and I can post them over the next 7 to 8 weeks and see what happens, and does it actually benefit, and maybe change it around. And the great thing about recording these in this format as well, I can put them on TikTok, and so it's a double cross sell from 2 platforms onto one, and one that I can possibly earn from. I'm hoping this video will maybe inspire you not to let yourself get into this rut of complaining and giving out and getting overly frustrated when there's no need for it really. Photography is too enjoyable to let something like Instagram ruin it on you. Another thing I'm not a big fan of with the force feeding reels down our throat is that not everyone is comfortable on camera, and you can clearly see that as well. You can always tell the people who aren't overly comfortable with the, hi, it's Mark Duffy here and I'm about to tell you something. It takes me 2 years to tell you what I'm about to tell you, when they should just get in and get out, you know, and they're losing it and it's not benefiting them in any way at all. And you know, it's not fair on them. It's not fair on those people as well. Like when I'm recording this segment here, it's unscripted. I'm just talking and thinking of stuff that will work for the script to get my point across, and I'll just keep doing take after take. I click my fingers, so I'll say something and I'll think about it and I'll say, oh, it didn't work, maybe I'll change it, and I'll say something else and I go, okay, that worked. Click my fingers, do a take on it. So then I know when I'm editing, I just go to the spikes and then I can see where the takes are. Now, that's taken me a while to get into that, you know, and not everyone knows about doing that, and not everyone would necessarily do that either. Some people might actually read from a script on a teleprompter. I wouldn't be a fan of that, even though I did go and buy myself a teleprompter and then never ever used it. So enough chit chat about what I'm doing. How about I show you what I'm doing? So you can already see the big, massive 120 centimeter key light that I have. So that's the Aperture 100D, and then on over here, I have my camera, which is the Sony ZV-E10 with the Sennheiser MKE 200 mic on it, and I have the new Samyang 12mm autofocus f2.8. That is a cracking lens. And then I'm just going to be sat on my new office chair. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know I broke the last one, so I had to get a new one. I got it out of Yisk. And then it's just in front of the computer. For this video, I have a light at the back of my screen, but there is actually LEDs on the back of that screen. They're just not bright enough for the settings I have here. And so I'm using a Nanlite Pavotube right now, but when I'm doing these videos, I actually don't need that. And then what you can see out of camera just about there is Aperture 60D, and that is a kicker. So I just have it on a reflector, and the reflector has a little bit of diffusion on it. And then for this video, I'm using the 200X with the big softbox, just for this talking point here. Now, the whole point of me doing these little short videos is not only to get good information out, but to have fun with it. So I am literally having the crack with this. Like, you know, if I think there's something funny needs to be said, I'm going to say it, because, you know, I would just rather have the crack with all this. None of it is scripted. All of it, like they're only 30 seconds, and one of the videos one of the videos I did the other day took me 7 minutes to speak 30 seconds. Photography basics. What is aperture? Aperture is the iris of your lens, controlling the light and the depth of field in your scene, which is the depth of focus from front to back. How it works is the smaller the number, the more light comes in, but the shallower the depth of field. And the larger the number, the less light comes in, but it will be in focus from front to back. So if you set your focus for this scene here for f1.2, my eye will only be in focus, everything else will be out of focus. But if I set it to f16, everything will be in focus. It's difficult to get it into the 30 seconds that you need to be saying, and I'm unscripted, so I just kept making it up and, you know, doing the clicking and getting to the take that needs to be done. And it's a simple trick to exposing your photos. And that's the video. So yeah, that's just the update that I'm doing. Yes, I'm getting annoyed with Instagram, but I'm trying to find different ways to kind of maybe re-inspire myself with using the platform. So don't get too hung up on it. Don't get too hung up on it. One of two things is either going to happen. It's going to become a complete TikTok copycat, because they're trying to, you know, they're trying to attract the young kids, you know, the younger generation, you know, the 16-year-olds who will turn into 25-year-olds who will go onto Instagram. But if Instagram doesn't have a foothold with them now, they won't get them in 10 years' time, and that's their issue, I think. So they'll either just become and seen as a TikTok wannabe and no one will use it in a few years' time, or they might actually backtrack and just say, okay, you know what, we went down this avenue and it's not fully working, but I'm just going to work with the way they're doing it. There's a lot of other people and they're really enjoying these reels, and I've spoken to a few, and yeah, it's just I was getting really frustrated with it. I was getting really annoyed with it, and it was ruining all my plans for posting and stuff and just sharing, and I was just like, you know what, let's just have some fun with it. So that's the plan. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something from it, and if you did, Give it a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get notified every time I put up a new video. Find me on all the social medias, Mark Duffy Photography, and until the next one, later gators.